Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in. I'm not sure how long I'll be on here, maybe 20, 30 minutes, because I have a client in office today, but he had to take off real quick to run a little errand, and I'm waiting on our lunch to be delivered. So y'all just know that I have to cut this abruptly, maybe. But I wanted to touch on this because somebody sent me a post about a police officer, I believe in Michigan or somewhere like that, and he was grooming a his stepdaughter, and the stepdaughter's father was going through her phone, which kind of shows you like how the dad, he know what they come from, like he know how things go down, and so he checking his daughter phone, and like I got to make sure she ain't getting into nothing, and so dad checking the phone and come to find out that the young lady's stepfather was grooming her and trying to strike up secret conversations with her and have secret conversations and telling her to hide the conversations or delete the conversation or get a text now number or what have you, and to have these conversations. And here you have a whole police officer. Now, as a police officer, you have to take a lie detector test to work in law enforcement, because when I wanted to be a detention deputy working in the jailhouse, I had to take a lie detector test that I failed because one of the questions was, have you ever sold drugs before? And I couldn't even pass the lie detector test. And so I'm like, if you pass this lie detector test, you're a good person. Well, you done did everything right in your life. And so now, so you would expect a police to be like a upstanding, high character person, but it doesn't test for that. They don't necessarily test for your sexual morality. They test for your legal morality. And so people get in position of power and influence, but really don't have to be a good person. And this is, as a man, this is something that I know a lot of men don't like to hear this or admit this. And I'm not saying that you don't have to vet every woman, because I've been shocked and appalled by some of the things women do. But as a man, it's typically, when men do things, it's typically greater consequences. Meaning, you rarely see women, molesting boys. Like, it happens, but nowhere near at the rate that it happens with men doing to girls or even boys. And the nature of man is very hard to put into words, because you have to think about the nature of man. Here you have somebody who can build a city, but also kill on demand. Someone who has to hear, see, and feel, be supposed to be empathetic and loving and caring and compassionate, but also supposed to be a vicious killer at war. So that mix is very hard to understand and to describe and to depict. That's extremely that's a very extremely interesting type of situation there. So it's one of those things of you really have to be careful. And you got to watch men who you're going to have around your kids. You can't get caught up thinking that, oh, because I'm with a school teacher or because I'm with a pastor or because I'm with a police officer, I'm safe. You can't take that approach because that'll mess you up. And it's better to be safe than sorry. I know people, white people, black people, Hispanic people, Islanders, Asian, who don't allow sleepovers. They don't allow their kids to go on a sleepover. And for the longest, my son couldn't do a sleepover. He's 17. He's 17. He just had a sleepover last night with it was 4 of the boys. It was supposed to be all of them. They were doing a sleepover into the senior skip day, the day senior skip day. And my son friend group is just because I don't know if they watch these videos, they're different. It's nothing like I was at his age. Friend group is totally different. Like, I trust my daughter with his friend group. And I'm a hard critic. But I just could read a spirit and I could tell they different. And then my son called me at 8 o'clock this morning ready to go home because he had an allergic reaction to the boy cat. And so it wasn't even nothing to where they had a blast. He coming home, eyes is, puffy, and he all this mucus going on. He having an allergic reaction because of the, he said dander or whatever. I'm guessing leftover hair from the cat. And so that right there. But guess what? My son got a friend who I think now is 18, but still live in the house with his mom. He might still be 17 and about to turn 18. But his mama, he's a white boy. His mom won't let him have a sleepover. Now, what she assumes what a parent can do to an 18-year-old boy, man, I'm like, ain't nobody mess with your son at 18, okay? And especially his best friend parents. But I respect the let's see, y'all get one. I respect the conservative approach. I respect that because it's better to be safe than sorry. And I think that this is one thing that I see women do wrong is so many women get a man and become so lax. And you let a man have carte blanche in your life and just do whatever he want to do. And you let this man come in and talk to your daughter any kind of way, talk to your son any kind of way, and just come in and play daddy, play house, and do all of that. And it just don't add up. It's not a smart way to go about it. And so you have to be able to get to a place to where you start to really take your time and see. And you put things in place when you're dealing with a man. And one of the things I appreciate and respect about my wife is that she has never created like this situation of like me and her sisters. Like, she's never created a thing of like where me and her sisters are like calling each other and talking, and like me and confiding in them confiding in me. None of that. She's kept that like off limits, even though these are her blood sisters and they got the same dad, different moms, but they see each other as 100% sisters. And I could get offended by that, but at the same time, I know men, and I know there are hundreds of thousands of men who have slept with a woman sister or they woman mom. I just seen a post the other day where a guy got the mom and the daughter pregnant. And I think it was a black guy with 2 white women. And I have seen that, and I've been in situations to where it's like the friend of a woman trying to sleep with me. And I'm dealing with the friend, the woman friend. And just seeing that and knowing that men could get away with so much, And men do so much, but seeing so many women not be careful. And because it's kind of like, okay, yeah, this stepdad, but is it the husband? Is this your husband or this your boyfriend? And this your daughter, stepdad shouldn't be talking to your daughter. Let him go through you. And this one thing I want women to understand. If you bring a man in your life, that man, he can love your kids and treat your kids like his own, but I want you to understand that it's very, very rare. That's very rare. Majority of the time, that's not the case. Majority of the time. So I mean, 6 out of 10 times, that man don't care nothing about your kids. That man do not love your kids. That man will slap your kids. That man will violate your kids. That man do not care nothing about your kids. I want you to understand that. You have to let him show. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I just want to leave this mentee hanging. Building the fellas now. I'm talking to one of my male mentees right there. I got one of my male mentees in the office flying out to Atlanta tomorrow to meet with another one of my male mentees, and then 2 others after that in Atlanta. One of them meeting with. So y'all stay tuned now, because I'm starting my insurance agency and starting my tax agency. Real entrepreneur over here now. So y'all stay tuned. So if you want to be a tax preparer in your city for your friends and family, at the least, it's a second stream of income until you build your name and trust to where other people bring their W-2s to you in 2026. Then reach out to me, send me an email so I can put your name and email on the list. So when I get ready to start later this year, start doing, training folks October, something like that, getting it ready and teaching you how to run a business. So send me an email and I'll put you on the list. And with the insurance agency too, if you want to become an insurance agent, and selling life insurance, let me know. Send me an email. Get you on there. Get you on in. Real entrepreneur now. You got to expand. And so this what I'm busy doing. So my wife, that's why she don't have to worry about me hollering at her sisters, trying to sleep with her friends, doing all of that. If a man ain't got no purpose, if a man ain't occupied, ain't not just a job. You got to have purpose. Like yesterday, I was running basketball practice with my boys group, my boys program. Ran basketball practice, gave them a real good, tough talk after, then fed them. Some of the boys ain't even want none of the pizza. Then fed them. And so I say that to say, you got to think about that. And you got to realize that, if you dealing with a man and he ain't tapped all the way into his purpose, you got to be mindful. And you got to watch him, and you have to put in fail safes. You have to make sure that he's a man of character. And you got to be sure that you keeping your eyes on the situation. And so one of the things that I would recommend to women who have kids, and you bringing a man around your kids that's not their father, never leave your kids alone with that man. And if you leave your kids alone with that man, you literally need to spend that $20 to $40 on Amazon and get a camera put up in every room of the house. And you need to have an open line of communication. And you need to give your child a phone. If you're going to leave your child with somebody, give your child a phone, but put an app on there to where you can hear their speaker. And don't tell the man that that's on there. Put it on your phone to where you can see all their text messages. And don't tell your boyfriend or fiance or husband that that's on there. And you don't have to make him feel like a stranger in his own home. You don't have to let him know that you watching him and evaluating him and all of that. You don't have to do all of that. You just need to do it. And he don't know. But here's the thing though, you gotta have these fail safes in and foolproof situations to where he doesn't even feel like he can try it. And you got to help him understand. So like if a man go to like, oh, why won't you let me be alone with your daughter, or why can't I say this to her or say that to her, or why I can't pick her up from school, or why can't I babysit her, or why, do you not trust me? That right there is a selfish approach, and he taking it personal. And you got to let him know that, hey, this ain't personal. This has nothing to do with you. This ain't even about you. This just the world at large, the world we live in. I have to be safe about my kids, and I want my kids to know when they old and grown, I want them to know that I was extremely protective of them, because they're gonna be parents one day, and they're gonna look back and they're gonna understand what I did or didn't do as far as their safety is concerned. But if me having fail safes in place for my children offends you, you may need to look within internally and ask yourself, why are you upset about someone protecting a child? It's not about me not trusting you. It ain't about me not trusting you. It's just about me doing my due diligence to build. We've been together less than a year, been together less than 2 years, or we not engaged, or we not married, or my child just has a unique personality and just is not comfortable with people that he or she doesn't know very, very well. And the reason why I say this is because it's not just about your girl, your daughter, it's also about your sons. Because some men, like the guy who killed a 6-year-old boy, he beat him to death. So sometimes it ain't even about a man trying to do something sexually to your son. It could be that man taking out his childhood pain and trauma on your son. And so now he taking out his his childhood trauma on your son, and your son paying the price at the hands of a grown man, and then he threatened him not to tell you, or he's this or that, he this or that. And so your son don't want to be this or that, and this a grown man that love and trust. So your son like, well, this man got to be right. He got to be right. He got to be honest. This got to be legit if my mama will bring this man around me. He got to be a good person. So what he's doing have to be okay and acceptable if my mama will bring him around me. I'm ordering Uber Eats for me and my client, and this brother delivering Uber Eats in a Lexus. But times is hard. That boy say I'm in the L. Lexus IS. Putting them miles on it for Uber Eats. I gotta get this car note. Hey, it's about that time. I'm gonna start doing some hustle and grind videos for the Patreon and Bless Tribe. So y'all stay tuned. But sit down today if you are a mother and you are dating. And if you don't know how to do it, then reach out to me and talk to me, and you have to book a session now. I can't talk to you for free because you're a woman and might be loose booty. So I got to check. So y'all forgive me. Family, my wife texted me. Got to get this. And you got to put this in place and get this fail safe so that you know, like, and this what I try to tell, but a lot of women do not listen. And this is what ends up happening when you don't listen. I tell so many women, a man should not meet your children within 12 months. You need, before you, unless you finna just be telling your kids you introducing them to a friend, but they're gonna start to wonder, why do I meet more men friends of my mom than women friends? If my mom is a woman and I am a boy and all of my friends mostly are boys and all of the girls have friends that are girls, why do my mom keep introducing me to men that are her friend? And then once your child get old enough, your child gonna think you is a HO and say, oh, because I know what adult friends of the opposite sex do. They sleep together. So my mama is a loose booty. So listen, stop rushing. Yes, you could get married in 13 months if you want to get married in 13 months, but he don't need to meet your kids, because if your kids gonna like him, they're going to like him. If they're not going to like him, they're not going to like him, and vice versa. That does not matter. That relationship right there, that is determined by how he sees you. If he love you, he gonna love your kids. If he don't really love you, he's not gonna really love your kids. Point blank, period. If he do right by you, it's a possibility he's gonna do right by your kids. And if he do right by your kids, then they're gonna like him. If he doesn't do right by them, they're not gonna like him. But kids don't want their mama to just be single and all of that. So if a child telling you they don't like the man when they eventually meet him, and they say I don't like him for no reason, and you know your child is not like no problem child and just be causing problems and doing all that right there, then you don't have to get caught up in that. You don't have to get caught up in that and tripping on that. But if you know your child be at school lying on everybody and doing all that, then that's not something you want to focus on too much. But you still want to listen to your child. And so I want you to think about this and really come to a place to where you start to pay attention. You start to pay attention and you start to create this plan and put this thing in place so that you don't have to be the person that's homicidal. And you sitting there homicidal because you like, man, you done touched my child. You done did this and that. And I've seen this over and over with women. And they'll be like, oh, he's such an amazing man. He's so this and that. He's such a great person. He this and that. And it's like, you don't even know this man. Why are you letting your daughter sit in this man's lap? Why are you letting this man be alone and spend time with your daughter? Like, just because you desperate for a man. And I've seen them situations where a woman is desperate for a man. They let this man come in, get this man carte blanche, and let this man teach their daughter how to shower. Teach their son how to shower. And it's like, here's this man that you don't even know. And daughter sitting in the man lap, the man taking the daughter to practice, picking the daughter up. And the woman just like, yes, I got some help. This is a stranger. It don't matter if it's been 6 months. And there's a lot of perverts. And it's a lot of homosexuals. And I'm trying to get women to understand the nature of a man. Your daughter will get touched. 1,000%. It don't matter how lame he look. Don't matter how nice he look. Your daughter will get touched. You have to be careful. You got to know that you know that you know. And I'm going to tell you, you need to ask me about him. If your father is living, you need to ask your father about him. You need to ask your brother about him. Because one thing men can do is we can read men. So if I look at him, I'll be able to tell you what could be the issue here. I could be able to tell you at what point he gonna try to touch your son or your daughter. I could be able to tell you what you got to worry about, what is going. I'm gonna be able to give you some insight, and then the people who meet them in person, they're gonna be able to give you some insight. The men who meet them, they're gonna be able to give you some insight. The insight you get, you got to understand. Ain't nobody hating. Ain't nobody hating. We don't want you. So what we tell you is the truth. But you need to vet this man and make sure that you get some feedback on him before you just all in, because you will get set up for failure. You will get set up for failure if you don't, and you just desperate and you just want to go right ahead because you're like, oh, my brother gonna be hey, oh, my daddy gonna be hey, oh, Tony gonna be hey. They just don't want to see me with nobody. They just want to keep me single the rest of my life. So I ain't even gonna ask them. I can't listen to them. It's so many women who know me, have access to me, and as soon as they meet a man, they don't say a word to me about that man, and then be coming months later crying. Oh, Tony, I want to talk to you. He did this and he did that, and I knew I should have asked you. I knew I should have. No, no, don't come to me for the pound of cure when you could have came to me for the ounce of prevention. So you got to get this thing together. Got to get it together. Look like my food getting here. So God bless you, about to get dropped off, and put you a plan in place. And if you have a homegirl who has kids, then get with that homegirl and y'all sit down and y'all both put a plan together and y'all run that plan by each other. And you put that in place, and then y'all talk about that and say, okay, yeah, boo, boo, boo. And y'all talk through that and make sure y'all plan is tight. And when I say plan, what I mean is don't introduce the man to my kids inside of 6 months. Try to get to 12 months. Never leave my kids alone with the man. Don't let the man spank my kids. Don't let the man bathe my kids. Like, put in some things that it's gonna, if my kids want to talk to him, they go through me. If he want to talk to my kids, he go through me. Not them exchanging phone numbers until it's a real legitimate situation. But the thing about it is, I feel terrible, man. I feel terrible. Just for these women, man. I feel so terrible because it's like it could be 10 years before that man try your daughter. That break my heart. That breaks my heart. And although we talking about kids, do the same thing with your friends, with your homegirls, or if you suspect that your man may be in the men and you got homeboys, do the same thing with your homeboys. But you got to vet every single man. You got to take your time, get to know them, vet them, and just really build with them. But hey, this Tony Gaskins. God bless you. We're gonna be in touch, and want to say, my son. And so shout out to my supporters of my boys summer program. We have our first tournament this weekend. Had us a practice yesterday that I ran. So hey, I'm a basketball coach now, y'all. But that's the way I could reach these young men, speaking to their life after practice. Before we gave out pizza, I talked to them about time management and peer pressure and prioritizing. And so just having these type of talks, and I'm gonna be, every time I get a free date, I'm gonna be setting this up with them and having these talks and coming together with them. So I thank y'all who have supported. The link is in the description. Thank you so much for supporting, being a part, and just really just showing me in another way just the goodness and grace of God to have a village helping me raise these young men and be a blessing to them. And one of the guys that I just added to the program, he texted me today asking me some questions, and just seeing how they, how excited they are to be a part of something. And that allow me, because they get to be a part of something, it just gives me the opportunity to speak life into them and to build with them. So Hey, God bless you. Thank you so much. I'll be back. Not sure when I get to do the review or whatever, but I will be doing those every now and then. And also got to do some talks with Tony. But sometimes when I have just a normal teaching message, I have to touch on that and we'll kind of bounce back and forth. But God bless you, and we'll talk soon. I don't know if that worked. Oh, and also Dubai, I'm not gonna be able to make it, but the group's still going. My son, he's signing, my oldest son signing. So he having a signing at school and then the signing party and both April 2nd, April 5th. So I was supposed to be in Dubai April 1st through the 8th. So I'm not gonna be able to go, but I wasn't teaching anyways. I just was a student. So if you was going only for me or to meet me or something like that, then reach out to me if you signed up for the Dubai trip, and we'll get on here and have an hour. We wouldn't have talked that long over there anyways, but we'll have us an hour Zoom call because I still want you to go get that knowledge and then also share your notes with me because I'm in that space of learning and thinking about doing something over in Zanzibar, but haven't got the approval from my side yet, from my circle, my board, so to speak, fully yet. But thinking about doing that. So be in touch with me and stay tuned with these videos because I'll be just making little random announcements like this right here, middle of the video or end of the video, so you don't miss nothing. But God bless you, and we'll talk soon.